What is up, everybody? I had an awesome online lesson yesterday. We were talking about strumming, and during this lesson I kind of noticed something I never really noticed before, so that is going to make this video a little bit better for you guys that are just getting into strumming, not really understanding why it sounds a certain way. How that way is usually just a streamline, right? A volume. We want to get into the dynamics that really brings out kind of the attitude of what you're playing. So let's get into a few aspects of the strumming. One is there are three main motions that are actually happening when you're strumming, and everyone navigates to the last one first. So let me explain that. While we're strumming, we're kind of doing a little bit of this. It's like got a little bit of a doorknob turn. So okay, let me explain. Put your pick over all those strings and you're just turning down and up. That's it. So just like your wrist and in this part of your forearm is turning, just like you're turning a doorknob. All right. So that is one of the motions. Now the other one is if we don't allow this turn back and forth, and we're just going to have our wrist go up and down like that, and then those two come together. So you're going down and turning, and then you're going turn back and up. All right, so those motions are actually what you want to work for first. You don't have to get into it that way. You don't have to really focus if you don't want to. It will help you develop those muscles a little bit more. Just kind of getting used to turning really slowly was one of the things that we were working on. This particular student was someone that was a keyboard player, and their manager actually wants them to play guitar for some of the showcases, and she does play guitar. She knows all the chords. She's fine at navigating through the chords. It's just sounding stiff. So what we need to do is this kind of stuff, this strumming, learning how to strum, this happens naturally, you know, eventually by learning other songs, learning your own, kind of understanding how to get this fluidity in your strumming. You will learn all of this, but there are ways to make shortcuts, and that's focusing on each little motion and developing those. So that's what we're doing. We're trying to develop these a little faster, so she sounds like a 4 or 5 year guitar player within just a couple of months. So you can just stand over the strings and just turn, right? Now the reason that you have to add a little bit more to that particular motion is because you're rarely going to get all of the strings, right? I'm kind of missing the top string there on the way up. So that's why you kind of add this one in, and then you just try to like add both of them. Now the best part too is as you're doing those, right, you're going to go down and turn, up and turn back. You don't have to think about that when you're actually playing. All right, these are muscle memory movements that will navigate into your playing. The last one is your elbow, up and down. That is the last power move, okay? So if you're trying to get more and more volume, what happens is you add all three. Your elbow's coming down, right? As your elbow's coming down, this is coming down, and it's turning. All three of those motions are gonna add the maximum amount of power and volume, right? But the biggest motion is your elbow. So that is actually the one that we wanna do last, okay? So when you're playing, I want you to go really lightly with whatever chords you're playing. I just want you to start super light. It's the same ideas when I'm telling like my students who want to play fast. You have to start lighter, right, and develop those smaller muscles and build from there. If you're starting here, you won't be able to develop the muscles that are lower. Same with this strumming. Just go nice and light. See if you can do it in a way where if you look, my elbow is not going up and down. That is the main thing. So you can think about the turn and the bending your wrist up and down. You don't have to. Just lock in your elbow. Just don't let it move up and down, and strum nice and light. If you're going to do that and you are going to get all of the strings, you are going to be doing those two motions together. All right? And then start adding a little bit more. Add a little bit more volume without moving your elbow. Then take the volume away. right? Start understanding those dynamics, going in and out of loud and soft. This is going to develop your strumming skills like that, and you won't have to go to open mic after open mic after open mic after open jam and develop these skills. You can do it right at home, really honing in on getting the lowest volume to a mid-level. You want to work lowest volume to a mid-level before we start adding this. Now, the other part of this video is getting the fluidity. We really want to make sure this happens with a little bit earlier than the person that I was teaching yesterday. A little bit earlier is a stiffness. What that stiffness really comes from is listening to maybe this strumming pattern, which is very common. Right? That rhythm. Dot, 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 dot. What that can sound like is this. Right? It sounds almost the same, right? It has a stiffness to it rather than... So what we're actually doing is a down, up, on time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And you want to make sure that you've developed that. That will lock you into the time. What I mean by that is not if I'm doing down, down, up, down, 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 up, down. Watch my hand. If I do that, it's exactly the same. It looks exactly the same as... That is going to lock me into the time and make it nice and fluid and sound relaxed and the way it should. Or if you want to add more energy, not relaxed, but it's not sounding forced and rigid. Where if I just switch it to... I can tell all my up strums, my up strumming is supposed to be on the downbeat. It's a little bit ahead. That is kind of the number one. If you guys go out to open mics, that is like the number one telltale sign that someone has not been playing the guitar for that long. Is very rigid and not on that 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and timing. Right, that is the first thing, and usually that rigidness in the rhythm does also come from only using their elbow. So again, when I'm talking about like picking, all right, this stuff is very strange. The guitar is very strange because it's very small muscle groups and things that we haven't done with our hands before. That's why a lot of people grab the guitar neck like this, right? Because that's what we're used to, whether it's like handlebars on a bike or like a hammer or something like that. We want to grab, and that is safe for us, right? Same with using our elbow. Big swings like that is safe. That is a lot of motion and it's a lot of hit. So going lighter is a little bit more uncomfortable. So instead of starting up here and trying to bring this down, let's just start down here, and that is going to be the easiest way. You're going to sound way more mature, way quicker. This video is way longer than I thought it was going to be, but I hope it helps you guys get into your strumming. If you do have any questions, because this is kind of like a little bit more of like a lower level, if you guys do have any more questions about anything more advanced with strumming, just comment and let me know. Thank you guys.